Well, Lafarge Gypsum has announced its official listing of the Lafarge Plasterboard on the Ecospecifier South Africa. Right at the top, what is Ecospecifier and what gets you a ranking on this board?
Ecospecifier is a company which is used to provide green label based on characteristic of product and usage of product. Means they are now in South Africa and they are looking at providing to architects some possibility to choose between green product, greener or less green product. And it's based on, in fact, calculation of CO2 emission and impact on the resources. Plasterboard is made of gypsum resource, which is a natural resource. They look at the consumption. We have developed a range of quite light product compared to the competitors in South Africa, which is generating less use of raw material, less energy to dry it, also less water. And also it's an opportunity for us to use less fuel when we are transporting our product because they are lighter. Yeah. So they take into account all this aspect, and based on that they decide or not to grant us this sort of
So it's the acknowledgement of your green status that's actually coming through there. What's the significance of a listing like this in your books? Because it's one thing a company like Lafarge venturing down this path. Other players in South Africa are actually attuned to what's happening here. So the likes of architects, interior designers, the actual users of your product, how much attention do they pay to something like this?
I think for me it's very key because they have access to Ecospecifier is giving an access when you are architect, when you are looking for some product within, don't forget the SANS 204 standard, which is we say energy efficiency standard, which is implementing now in South Africa. Means any architect is looking for a given project. They have more and more pressure in terms of environment, reduction footprint, and they have to offer better solution. So the Ecospecifier is providing them a software where for a given function to implement in a building, they have a list of potential supplier of green product. And we have been the first one to get this green label in plasterboard. So for us it's key to be specified systematically when it is about following the SANS standard, being greener in terms of offer, and we believe more and more, even with the crisis, that it will become a key criteria for the future.
So run us through the kind of demand you're seeing for gypsum product in South Africa, because when it comes to building, it's certainly bricks and mortar, that's the norm.
Yeah, but internally, it depends on the maturity of the countries. In South Africa, we are still not selling a lot of square meter of board per inhabitant. It's something around 1 or 2, but in some more mature countries, 10 or 20. So that means there is a potential development, and companies are understanding the interest of setting dry system in terms of sealing and partitioning. And this is something which is developing with the cost of labor. The higher the cost of labor is becoming, which is a general trend, and specifically here also, the more important it is to implement quicker solution because you save on labor cost, and in overall is offering a cheaper solution for construction company.
Of course, we've got overall Lafarge involved in building materials in general, cement, aggregates and concrete, and then gypsum as well. What's your perspective of the state of the industry, the building sector in South Africa right now?
We are all through a difficult crisis, but it means the sector has contracted a lot. It's quite flat, and we don't see yet big improvement except in infrastructure, but for housing it's still quite flat. So that means we are suffering from cheap import, from I would say a lot of pressure on our subcontractor. They want to be profitable. They are afraid to close some businesses, so they are looking for cheap solution. But this is short term, and this is not preventing us to work on our focus, which is sustainable development for the future. And we believe we can offer now cheap solution and I would say competitive solution, taking into account the environment footprint, but we want to build a sort of legacy, I would say, for the future, and after the crisis, to be seen as the reference in terms of this area.
It's also quite fascinating, as Alishia alluded to, with regards to the demand scenario. It seems that the South African market is very conservative when it comes to changing the trend and looking at alternative materials. Do you think this could really kick off in the country? And it seems that it's not only conservative from the building perspective, but also the consumers. That we don't want to see different things.
I've been working in several other countries, in developing countries, fast developing countries in Asia. I have seen the same system. It's quite difficult to anticipate how long will it take to pick up, but some countries have been very quick. And some years ago, Korea, for example, was using only plasterboard in ceiling like we are using here, and they have developed partitioning, strongly partitioning, in a couple of years. That means it's up to us, the main constructor and the main supplier in the country, to help the users to understand the interest of having a plasterboard solution, we say dry and light solution. And what is key for us, this global sustainable initiative in the world is helping us, because we can provide very light solution, and at the end is quite, I would say, favorable in terms of footprint. So we believe sooner or later it will pick up, and we are trying to do our best to push it, of course, as soon as possible.
At what price? I mean, you say favorable in terms of footprint. Pricing is very much a key ingredient that many of the contractors look at this stage, and supply-demand dynamic will come into play there because it affects the kind of pricing levels you set.
You know, one of the advantage of Lafarge Group is we provide a wide range of solutions in terms of concrete, cement, interior solution for ceiling and partitioning. We are now, what is not easy for a contractor is to value the overall saving. When you provide lighter partitioning system, you save on concrete also for the building.
What challenge does that pose for the other division of your business where you do focus on selling cement and selling concrete?
Sometimes we have conflicting objectives, but in overall is to grow the Lafarge brand, the product and image and solution. And we are more and more solution oriented and not, I would say, ton of cement sell solution. Of course, if we are seen as a global competitor providing overall global solution, it will pull our sales, and we are all confident, and we are, I would say, what the group Lafarge is doing currently is switching from a division offer solution to a global solution offer to customer. It will come sooner or later, and we are pushing hard on that.
Well,
50% of our research is dedicated to sustainable development.